All right, welcome to episode number 5. We are reviewing the LA North Regional in quarterfinals, 3 versus 6. In the last video, we saw the Blue Alliance upset, and there is another upset coming, so it'll be interesting to see how the Blue Alliance does pull out the win. Last match, it seemed to be more the errors of red and some decent defense from 58-18, causing a tech foul on one of the Red Alliance robots. Bit of a comedy of errors, but Red Alliance definitely should have still won that. I'd like to remind you that if you're interested in having something reviewed, you can just put it in the comments and we'll try and get it reviewed. The idea here with this series is that we review matches that you're interested in. We'll try and pull interesting matches from each week. But if you have a specific request, we are definitely willing to take a look at whatever you're interested in and even do a review based off of the point of view of your own team. So what things your actual robot could have been doing potentially different or things that you did really, really well. So with that being said, we're going to jump right into it. And it does appear that the video started early, but that's okay. So last match we saw 2659. They did their full steel autonomous, which is kind of risky if the Blue Alliance has any robot that can move here. They could easily touch this robot and get free 15 points. That being said, it looks like Blue Alliance does not have an autonomous that's capable of doing that. So 2659 can really abuse not having this autonomous here. We see 2429, the low goal robot, going for low goals. And we are 5 seconds in already. Some really good shooting from Red Alliance here. And some more shooting from 4414. 5818 kind of spits out a ball by accident at the end of autonomous. And we're into action. Blue Alliance actually has a lead here. So that is a big change from last match. Okay, so we see the same feeding strategy. Looks like 4414 is in position waiting for the game objects from 3863. And then 2659 is going back and forth down this lane trying to score. While we see that 2429, the low goaling robot on the Blue Alliance, is taking the balls that are easily accessible. And then when 2659 is over here scoring, they kind of shuttle them over, which I think is really, really good. That's something that definitely robots should be looking at, especially if they even just have an intake that they can reverse. When you're a defender, you can kind of get game objects when there's no robots here, make it harder and make it the Red Alliance has to go load from the human player station. That way they don't have these quick cycles. So if they had a whole bunch of game objects lying around, we might have seen 2659 try and pick those up rather than going all the way across the field and then all the way back. And we actually see 5818 playing defense, which is interesting on this side. Potentially, were they? Or were they just picking up a B, Paul? Nope. They were trying to. That's another smart idea. That is also another kind of weakness with this kind of passing thing. If you block 3863, you're essentially playing defense on two robots at the same time, right? So you can imagine 4414's missing game objects. 3863 is trying to pass, but if you prevent 3863 from actually getting to the pass, 4414 is then doing nothing. So you're effectively blocking two robots at the same time with one robot and only having to play defense on one robot. So the more I think about this strategy, it's unique, but it's not really my favorite. It's not really being exposed very well currently, but I think it definitely can be with a higher level play or higher level of execution. It does look like 5818 was trying to execute that, so props to the Blue Alliance. But this is not a strategy that I would recommend running in future matches. Doesn't seem super great. It is unique, and it definitely has an interesting part of 4414, trying to like negate the trench weakness of being a tall robot. But as a whole, I don't think it's good. I think it would be better if 4414 was just cycling balls, or even 3863 was just like cycling balls over here, similar to the Blue Alliance robot 2429 maybe, the Logaling robot that just kind of throws balls this direction and helps feed the Blue Alliance member who is over there. Okay, so I'm really curious to see what 5818 does. They're going to cycle over this way. We see the Blue Alliance defender waiting for 2659, trying to block them out, which is really good. Blocking people on the bumps on the field, as we mentioned with the LA North final series, is really effective, especially against tall robots because you really have to slow down, and especially if you're outside and you don't get slowed down by those bumps, you can really cause some pretty insane havoc. So yeah, there I think is probably a mistake. I get that they want to drop off balls. It's not terrible, but I think more optimally, 24-29 would reposition to be in here, and then they would hold that pin for a little bit longer. They didn't even get a pin count started by any of the refs, so they definitely could have held 26-59 longer. And then positioning in this place and then bumping 26-59 from this shot, which looks like 26-59 is able to hit those. So definitely could have been a little bit more optimally played, but all in all, it's not terrible. All right, so let's go back. 58-18 is scoring. And we see, who is this? 25-84, trying to pick up game pieces. Good dump. Trying to get game pieces onto this side of the field. Now we see that 25-84, after they finish this cycle, right, they can just pick up all of these, and then they will be ready to shoot much quicker than some of the other teams. It is also kind of awkward because the timing between these two robots, just going back to this strategy of passing, the timing between these two robots are not very similar. So you're going to have a lot of bumping into each other. You see right now that 3863 is having to pick up the scraps, basically just the balls that they missed passing. And they have a ton behind their human player station, while you see Blue Alliance is pretty much cleared. So that means that Red Alliance is getting outshot kind of. They're not cycling balls as effectively. And a lot of that comes down to 24-29 inserting these balls into this side of the field, making it a lot easier for the Blue Alliance to score immediately, right? Other thing that's really dangerous right here is 26-59 is like right on that triangle of penalties. So if 25-84 could pretty easily just kind of bump them and draw a foul, because it doesn't matter if you initiate or whether or not you initiate the contact. They're purposely driving forward, and I would always encourage a driver to just drive forwards, trying to hit them, even if you miss. But it's unlikely that 26-59 would be able to reverse out of the way before 25-84 was inside the zone and touching them, or if 26-59 was still in the zone. So it'd be interesting to see if they go for that. Yeah, that was really dangerous. I would definitely not encourage doing that. Yeah, so 44-14. See, they're already out of game objects, and 38-63 just got there. Like they're gonna sit here and not do a whole lot, I think. Oh no, they do make their way across. So they only pick up 2 game pieces, or 3, sorry. And now they're ready for their next round. But I don't, it's not great. Then they are catching up. They are getting the lead back here. And it actually going back here, this is a really interesting series. So 58-18 comes over here. They notice that they're ready to score, and they're gonna try and block. Except they didn't really commit. So good attempt. Execution was not great. It's hard. 38-63 is going this way, and then 26-59 is going this way. And 58-18 just doesn't commit to one. So if they committed to one, that would have been better. They kind of committed to one and then swapped, changed their mind like 3 times, and then drove back and forth, ending up really doing nothing, right? So this is kind of a wasted time for 58-18, which is not good, especially because they just lost the lead. All right, we see a big pass over here. They're just making sure that they're pushing the balls over here, and they're actually going to go line up to climb at 34 seconds. We see that 58-18 is already in position to block. It'll be interesting to see what Red Alliance does because they should just climb right now. That that they're fine. They have a triple climb. They Oh wow, that looks like a tech foul. Did they flag that? No. That definitely looked like a tech foul. 44-14 seems to be fully in their zone, and then they get bumped by Blue Robot. That should definitely be a tech. Wow, this is super dangerous too. Holy moly. They should just go here, hit them, get a tech foul there. Oh, this is really awkward too. So now they're stuck on this side of the field. They have literally nothing they can do. Which is not great. They're a tall robot. If you're a tall robot, you do not want to have nothing to do at the end of the match, right? Um, Good advice is try and be on this side, or at least be climbing. Unless you have a super long shot, which haven't been super accurate from this position, right? You can shoot across, but really they have nowhere to go. They can't go through here. That's way too dangerous. They're not going to come in and bump their alliance partners. And since they can't go into the trench, there's no options. So 38-63 has kind of put themselves in a not so great situation here. They don't really have much to do. I am curious about that potential tech foul. I'm pretty sure that's a tech foul. Oh wow, this is scary. But they do get the balance, and Red Alliance does not look like they have the balance. Yeah, see, they just have nothing to do. They're debating coming in, but they don't. It's not so great. And 58-18 trying to pick up game objects. And just being able to go under the trench just opens up so many options for 50-18. Like you can just look at the contrast between 38-63 going tall. They have nothing to do. But 58-18 can try and make a last second shot, which is really great. Okay, wow. So unclear if this climb counts. That might burn them. I think Blue Alliance has won anyways because they have the balance, it seems. But once again, with this scoreboard, I have no idea if it even indicates whether or not it's balanced. So, uh, yeah, but I'm pretty sure red is not balanced, but blue appears to be. Okay, so yeah, one climb did not count. I'm guessing it's 44-14, and there were 0 tech fouls. So, um, actually, it would be in this side. 0 tech fouls. I think there's probably a missed call. Obviously, it's hard as a ref to get every single call right. But in the end, that didn't really make the difference. Red Alliance just did not leave enough time to climb or something again. Let's just watch that again. So they were starting to climb at 27 seconds. 26:59 is being harassed by 58:18. So really maybe that. Ooh, that. Jeez, 58:18, really dangerous right there. Again, people are. This is really exploitable. You know, you can if you were just a couple more inches in, that would be a tech foul. So possibly even a free climb with balance if you're actually touching that bar, right? So 22 seconds. That seems like it would be enough time. They're trying to get lined up. 15 seconds. Wow. They had plenty of time. They just mis-executed, I guess. It is unfortunate that the 44-14 climb didn't work, but even still, I guess if they had the tech foul and that climb had been counted, they would have gotten the win. Uh, yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate, but you know, it looks like 44-14 was all the way up as they could be, and just the way that 26:59 was pressured to try and climb early, they slid, and then that lowers the 44-14 machine just barely enough potentially to be touching the ground. Um, so that seems to have invalidated their climb, and as a result, Blue Alliance has pulled off the upset. So really lessons learned seem to be that you know you want to leave enough time to climb, even if you have a massive lead. You know, make sure you hit those climbs because that's the only way you're going to lose. And you know, seemingly like some climb defense has affected 26:59 in both the matches. So um, make sure that you practice with some climb defense. Uh, implement some climb defense in your matches to try and prevent the robot from climbing. And yeah, wow, really interesting series. Some really interesting gameplay that was different that that I haven't seen before yet in week one. Really good to see a whole bunch of different strategies come out, but you know, it seems like the effectiveness of 24-29 dropping game pieces, kind of like going through and then dropping game pieces, seems really good. I'm not a fan of the 38-63 thing that the Red Alliance tried to do. It's creative, but I would not recommend doing that. Again, just because you know you can block one defend, you can have one defender blocking them, and then you're playing defense on two. And I think it's just generally better to have more robots cycling to get the game pieces because Red Alliance had a lot of balls there for the majority of the match. They were kind of on overflow limit there. So, uh, yeah, really interesting series. Glad we reviewed it, and we'll find another series to look at, you know, shortly. So, thanks for watching, guys. And if you have any suggestions for matches or series that you'd like to see, put it in the comments below, and we'll take a look at it.